Hey, what's up, Yoon fam? It is I, Mark Yoon, and I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video today. So what I got for you today is a little lead up. Since Setsuka has been released, we know now who is coming next, and that is none other than Hwang Gyeong. And he's a highly requested character, but there's also some, I guess I want to say, limitations on people's desire for him to come back. I've seen way more people want him back, and then a lot of other people don't understand why he's wanted back. And I think a lot of this has to stem from newer players or players that have just become familiarized with the Soulcalibur franchise due to Soulcalibur 6, or maybe even starting with PS3 and going from 4. But he was a big part of Soulcalibur. So what we're going to go do today is we're going to go over his old lore, his old history, and then I'm going to give a few reasons of why I believe that he is so desired to be in this game, including my own opinions, because he is my favorite character in the franchise. So without further ado, let's just begin. So in Soul Edge, Hwang originally doubled as a replacement for Mitsurugi in the Korean release of the game. Because it was, at that time, it was a little taboo to depict samurai, especially as like the hero, especially in Korea, because of the culturally touchy subject of Japan trying to constantly invade Korea. So in the Korean version of the game, he replaced Mitsurugi as the main character. And he appears in other localizations of Soul Edge version 1, the arcade version of Soul Blade, as a secret character. He is unlocked for player 1. Okay, and then in Soulcalibur 4, although he doesn't... And in Soulcalibur 4, he doesn't make an appearance, but Hwang is mentioned in Yoon Sung's storyline, and they encounter each other while Yoon Sung was on his way to a Strinesburg. Hwang warns the young warrior that Soul Edge is evil. However, he does not stop Yoon Sung from continuing his journey, stating that he will let him find out for himself. Then the two of them go off on their own ways, and then years later, Hwang is seen as a national hero along with Sungmina and Yoon Sung, and the three now teach at a dojo, training the new generation. Alright, so let's start with Soul Edge, which was the first game that he appeared in. Hwang Gyeong was born to parents who, while poor, had a strong sense of justice. However, this resolve is what led to their downfall. He grew up hardened and eventually enrolled himself in the Songdojang to learn the longsword. It didn't take him long to become the best student in the dojang, and was eventually deemed good enough to be taught private lessons by the master himself, Song Hang-myung. The master was happy to have such a gifted student, and was even considering adopting him as his son. However, he never had a chance to do so, and his daughter, Sungmina, was only friends with Hwang, with a mutual lack of desire to make their relationship anything more than a friendship. Facing increasing incursions from the Japanese raiders, a coast guard was quickly led by Admiral Yi Sun-shin, with Hwang as the first volunteer. Rumors of Soul Edge, deemed the Sword of Salvation, spread to Korea, and Yi Sun-shin sent him to go find it. And then in Soulcalibur, we have this as follows. On his quest to find the Sword of Salvation, quote-unquote, he received news of an impending Japanese invasion of his homeland. He cut his search short and returned home, dragging Sungmina, who had run away to find Soul Edge herself, home with him. He rejoined the Coast Guard as a commander, but shortly thereafter he received news from the new recruit, Kong Kwai-shin, that Mina had run away. Angered and worried by this, he lost his better judgment and led his crew into a trap set by the pirates of the Ryokyo Kingdom, and many lives were lost. Yu Sun-shin sympathized with his warrior over Mina's well-being, but was nevertheless obliged to dismiss him from the Coast Guard. Instead, he gave him a new set of orders. He was to aid Sung Hang-myung from finding Mina under the guise of searching for the Sword of Salvation. In Soulcalibur 3, during his second quest, Hwang learned that Soul Edge was evil, so he made a report of this to his superiors about the matter. Sadly, they only served to tarnish his reputation. Admiral Yi Sun-shin dismissed him and forced him to return to Blue Thunder as punishment. Hwang left the garrison and stayed with his master's dojo, or dojan, until one day when someone appeared in the exercise hall. He captured the stranger and upon interrogating him found out that he was a spy from Japan, who claimed that Japan was in search of Soul Edge as well. Since no one in the coastal defense has knowledge of the foreign lands and the experience from previous trips, Hwang was selected to carry out the new mission. Find and stop the agent from Japan from finding Soul Edge, and bring the sword if possible. Yi Sun-shin handed him Blue Thunder yet again, and Hwang understood the meaning of this mission, to save his country. Before beginning his quest, he went to the capital and stole fragments he gathered there. So he's got quite a storied history in the Soulcalibur franchise, and especially as he was meant to be sort of the Mitsurugi replacement for the Korean versions of the game. That's a big deal. And he was also way before Yoon Sung. He didn't come back for Soulcalibur 2, and he did come back for Soulcalibur 3, at least in the arcade editions. You still can't create him completely in the console versions, and I believe he's still unlockable if you either complete 600 battles or you run into him along the story mode, but he's not, you know, the full moveset that he used to have. The first reason that I really want him back, not only for the legacy of the character, is his moveset. So, while Blue Thunder is somewhat similar to Changhua, because she also wields a Chinese short sword, it's actually quite different because he has Tae-Kyon mixed in there, which is the precursor to Taekwondo, and he also uses a lot of Mitsurugi's moves and attacks since he was originally set as a replacement character for Mitsurugi. So the moveset's quite unique, and even though it has a mixture of some other characters, we have some of the kicking that you would see from someone like Baekdo-san in Tekken. He definitely has a lot of the Tae-Kyon as his primary sources for his kicks, and it leads to a fast character that can get in quickly and definitely slice the opponent down when it's needed to. Especially with those slashes that he gets from Mitsurugi. But fighting aside, he was also deemed like assassin, and he was a precursor to bonus characters. So even though his assets were in the game, because they were still apparently not finished with the character until the arcade version was finished and finalized, he was used as pretty much like the precursor for those movesets. So as Assassin's precursor, he can use a different variety of weapons, as well as the weapon that he was deemed with. But if you give created characters his actual Chinese blade style, then he has the full Hwang moveset. Not only that, he's important to the characters in the storyline. So he interacts with major characters such as Mitsurugi and the rest of the pirates. So now that we've seen that that Maxi was on his ship and the rest of the Ryokyo were already defeated by Astral, we can also have a side story with him, with Maxi, with encountering him and maybe not a misunderstanding, but maybe something happening where they actually do lose to his crew. And he means a lot to Seungmina as well, and as well as Yoon Sung. But I think Yoon Sung is not really a replacement for the character. They're more like brothers in a sense, and they do have separate styles. So it is really easily to have them both in the game, which is why I'm sure that you've seen from the data files that they are both slated to be in the game, Yoon Sung being the last character that is in Season 3, and Hwang being the next character, which is the last character in Season 2. A lot of people like the character, not just based on that, but also based on his design. He has a very carefree and serious nature to him, which leans well to the rest of the cast of heroes, and he's very easy to fall behind. And he's not so much as a joke character, but somebody who pushes the plot forward in many ways. And I also think that we can kind of, since this is a reboot, maybe we can kind of give him that relationship with Seungmina that he wasn't supposed to have before. Maybe have them be lovers as opposed to the brother and sister type who share the same martial arts dojo because his master is her father. And that would actually lend credibility to her character, because right now Seungmina is kind of a goofball in the series, and I would like to see her get like some more of a serious notion to her, and I think this would obviously help that. Now, going into the next game, this could possibly set up a lot of things where we're going to have like a three-pronged attack with like Siegfried at one end, the three main heroes on the other, with Cassandra vying for her sister, and then we have the Koreans. So once they're all back in the game, they can actually settle up together. And that leads me to my next point. A lot of people want him back because not only was he one of the original cast members in Soul Edge, but so you can't get much more nostalgic than that, but he is one of only 3 Koreans in the game, and so far the only one who's been a reoccurring character has been Seungmina herself. Yoon Sung has showed up a lot, but nowhere near as much as Hwang, and they aren't really interchangeable. They're 2 separate characters, even though sometimes, like in Soulcalibur 4, if you use his second costume, you can see it's like inspired by or maybe a hint of Hwang. But that's always been the case. He's always been mentioned in their stories. Like I think in Soulcalibur 4 he's mentioned, in Soulcalibur 5 he's mentioned, but he's never actually like shown. And we do see him in this in Soulcalibur 6 in Song Mina's story. So there is precedent for him to be there, and I'm guessing that the design that he has in there, which is more of an assassin-esque type of look, is going to be what he's going for. So I'm assuming they're going to redo his backstory like they've done with all the rest of the characters. We're keeping some stuff, but they're going to change or develop a lot more, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. But there's a lot of reasons why people want him in the game, and it's nice to see that he's actually in the data and he is likely to come back as the next character. And I know a lot of people in the comment section down below are going to talk about the reasons why they love him, and that's going to be my quest for you guys. In the comment section down below, I want you to tell me things that you like about Hwang, or if you dislike Hwang, give me the reasons why. Like, let's start a conversation, keep it civil, don't just start with me, we can talk amongst each other. If you guys want to ask me anything else more personal, then you can drop in my Discord, which is in my description box. And with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thank you. And thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Have you always wanted some sweet Mark Yoon merch? Maybe a thick U shirt, maybe a shirt from Squirt, maybe my pretty face with my logo all over your body, or a throw pillow, or blanket, or anything? Well, you're in luck, because I just launched my merch store, and it is going to be available on Redbubble, and you will find a link to it in my description box down below. It's got a lot of quality content and a lot of good stuff for you to pick up, so you can show your support for the channel and just rep Mark Yoon. Alright, guys, as always,